Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Make a Good Mega Man Level Contest 2, or Magmal 2 for short. During the last part, I completed 4 levels in Tier 3, so in this part, I'll be completing the final level of Tier 3, which is, in 59th place, Forgotten Fortress by BBLIR, with a score of 23.6, but it also earned the distinction of being Pyro's least favorite level. And also, from what I've heard, this is one of the longest contestant stages that was submitted to Magmal 2. So, I suppose that this part will only focus on this stage and the boss fight. So, here goes nothing, I suppose. It's gonna require several parts to go through, I suppose, or a lot of jump cuts. So we start out with a skip teleporter, probably because it's so long. We have 2 arrows, it seems. Let's go left and see what it has to offer. Teleporters. But we need a key to access it, so I guess we aren't going there. Well, I do like we have arrows showcasing what pathways we can take. Oh neat, one of the few stages that actually utilizes slopes in a fashion that is useful in some way. That's a little bit of a scary introduction to Shadow Man platforms. I do like this introduction of the Gutsman platforms, it's a lot less of an issue here. First in a safe environment and a more dangerous environment here. Or I'll just do this to make it safer on myself. We need to go down this pit, it seems. With all the sheep man blocks, nothing too bad so far. I'll need to learn why Pyro didn't like this stage as much. Okay, we have half gravity now. You know what, I'm just gonna take care of that the ball-thrown enemy this way. Thank you for putting the count bombs here to protect me from hitting the spikes on the top. So far the stage doesn't seem that bad yet. Oh, now we're in twice the gravity. I do like the gravity gimmick so far, but it feels like the start of the stage went on for... It didn't really feel connected to this part, but I suppose, from what I've heard, this stage has a lot of alternate pathways, so each one of them focuses on a different gimmick. So this one is focusing more on gravity, I presume. Oh no. I'm dead here. If I get stuck in twice the gravity, there's no way of getting out of here. At least there's good checkpoint placement, so that's definitely a plus. I gotta rapid fire so I don't get killed by the telly, or I could just do this. Okay, now we have the nuts and bolts enemies spawning in. And back to regular gravity. And we have a... That was a really easy spike drop, I suppose. That was close. I still got hit by that Metar somehow. Cool, we're in the sunrise segment, I suppose. Come on. And now we're introduced to the falling platforms in a bigger Met. That's quite a neat Metar design, actually. It's quite unique, it's more of a fat Metar, as I'll call them. A little bit of an... We started out with a nice introduction of the falling platforms and a more scary one. And to be fair, these fat Metars are a little bit easier to defeat. Okay, here's the first pathway split, I suppose. Thankfully, there are these arrow indicators indicating what alternate pathways there are. I'll take the topmost alternate pathway first, and then I'll go on to the lower ones from there on out. Well, I guess I'll go left first. See what it has to offer. And get crushed over here. Wonderful. Well, at least there's a checkpoint right over here, so the level author did predict where we would die a bit. Another props to the developer. That's me forgetting that I need to slide. I keep underestimating how fast these Concrete Man platforms go upwards. At least I think these are Concrete Man platforms. Oh no. When I get caught on the edge, I'm really afraid. Well, at least we have different types of tellies now, even though they function the same way. I do like the minor aesthetic differences. How do I get up here? Oh. Okay, these are a bit different tellies. Once you shoot them once, they begin moving faster towards you, and they take 2 shots to destroy. Well, that's a neat difference. Also, one of the places where you're forced to use the wire adapter or another weapon. Thank you for putting those signs over there. And once again, use the wire adapter here in order to collect the item. Neat way of introducing that, actually. Now you have the Shadow Man platforms or the spikes. We were introduced to them in a more dangerous environment, so it's fine here. I knew there was going to be a second big eye over there. I wonder if we can read that sign. No, we can't. So far, I don't see what the problem with the stage is. Yikes, I was a bit close over there. Oh, ice physics. Wonderful. Well, if there's another thing I'd like about the stage, it's the fact it actually delineates the fact that going down there isn't an instant death pit. It actually leads to somewhere based off the arrow. So more props to the developer. Or designer. I'm not really sure why it scored so low and why it was Pyro's least favorite though. Well, I guess I'll learn that soon enough, or once I go through the stage. The only thing I know about this stage that can be a bit problematic is that's on the longer side. If you've watched my Mega Maker LPs, you'll know for a fact how much I love a bit longer stages with multiple alternate pathways, each with their own gimmicks or different interpretations of the gimmicks, because I feel that extends the replayability of each stage. I loved it when Mega Man 6 and 7 did that. Gotcha, I got an E-tank, I reacted fast enough. So now let's collect all of these other items, and descend further down this blue chute. I see a bunch of ladders there. I guess we go down here? I guess this is a different pathway, I suppose. So I will come back to this later. Oh, hello there. I'm not taking any chances with you. Well, I guess there's no way to go other than down. Oh no, force beams. At least it's highlighted where the force beams will be coming from. More props to the developer. Because of that, though. Yep, I'm bringing out the flash stopper. Better safe than sorry. Sure, I'm defeating the challenge, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it, so I'm taking the safe approach. And now we have a spike drop segment, which was rather easy, actually. And now we have this Jumbug enemy, who is really a pushover, especially with my increased firepower. Well, I guess an alternate pathway also leads up to here, so let's go up, shall we? And we see a whole bunch of statues dedicated to Dr. Wily, and we have the level exit. Well, I guess that's where we're going to finish the stage then. Oops, I probably should have explored the rest of this area. I guess I will once I complete the stage again, because I didn't get any of the Noble Nickels. I'll meet you at that first pathway branch split around the blue area near the end. Alright, I'm at this pathway split, so let's go down here instead of going to the right and see where this takes us. Well, I see a Metar generator and somehow I dodged it there. Oh goody, double gravity. Now half gravity. Well, I see this pathway is definitely focusing more on the gravity gimmicks. That's quite neat, actually. We have many alternate different pathways and... Oh, and there's the first Noble Nickel of the stage. I suppose this was another alternate pathway, the purple one that led up to here, which I will be taking a look at once I get back here. I wonder what's up there. Well, because the stage really wants me to focus on using the wire adapter, I'll be using it here. Might as well give the wire adapter some time to shine, and we are well awarded with this Yashiki. So all of our health and weapon energy has been restored. Again, another purple alternate pathway, which I will get to. Oops, I really need to switch to my weapons faster. And it leads all the way back here to the force beam segment, I suppose. But this time, I will take an alternate pathway and see what that room has to offer. Because I get the feeling I missed something in that room, the final room with all the Dr. Wily statues. because there was some scrolling and I didn't explore the edges of the screen. And judging by all the alternate pathways this stage has to offer, there's bound to be some secret ones. There's probably some even in the force beam segment. And I get the feeling at the end of Tier 3 I'll be drowning in bolts. So let's take care of the Mega Man Met, the really durable one. Oh, it looks so adorable. And I was right, there's a key here. I remember there being a key door at the beginning of the stage, but how will we access it? Oh, there's a teleporter here. And it takes us all the way back to the beginning of the stage. Normally I'll call this a troll teleport, but because we actually have the key, we can now open this door and access the teleporters. And we have a teleporter room taking us through all the different 4 pathways of the stage. But of course I only took one pathway, the blue one I believe. They don't seem to be lined up with different pathways, because the orange path is aligned with the blue one, the blue paths with the orange. The lab and purple are correct though, I think. It seems like the top 2 letters or titles should be flipped. The single Crashman platform path. Oh, neat. So we have 2-way teleporters instead of 1-way, and I was right, there was a secret in that Quickman room. Well, I haven't seen the block trains just yet. Well, I guess that's what the secret room is, and that's the secondary exit or something. Well, it wasn't really hidden because there were ladders there. What does this lead up to? Oh, right over here, and... if that's true... no, this is the wrong one. Well, there was one pathway I didn't explore over here, which was this one, so let's go over here. I'm doing the reverse of Yggdrasil, where instead of going through the bottom pathway then the upper one, I'll start out with the topmost pathway and move my way downwards. That's why I mentioned at the beginning of this part why I believe this is the entirety of the part is going to be focused on this stage. There's so much to explore and do about this stage. Now we have the up and down enemies, of course. The background is a little bit obscuring some of these enemies though, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not too bad. Oh, gotcha. Should have known that. Well, let's go keep going to the right and see what it has to offer. Of course, Guts lifts. And bypass the entire segment, shall we? And Yoko blocks. Nothing too bad, I suppose. Yeah, it was relatively on the fair side, and we had a unique background to delineate the two. Oh, and this leads all the way back up to here, I think. So, let me jump down the... never mind, I can't jump down the pit, it seems. And it leads all the way back up to here, back to the force beam room. I don't want to go down this ladder because I get the feeling there's a connector somewhere else. Well, there's something I do want to try out before I take on the alternate pathway. There's a secret Crashman room somewhere and I want to explore it. And I get the feeling it's on one of the sides of the room that doesn't have a wall on it. This one? Maybe it's the one on the right. Oh, darn, I missed it. Yeah, I'm gonna try it one more time, and then if I fail, I'll just try to take an alternate route. Scratch my earlier statement. Because I can backtrack through this room, I'll take the purple pathway first, and then I'll get back to the Crash Labs. Might as well explore all the alternate pathways, and apparently those are solid. Okay then. I get the feeling that this led in from the original blue room over there. The one where I had a choice between taking the upper pathway and the lower one. But I'll learn that once I get back here. So now we have the block train room, I suppose. And of course, my Mega Buster just tears through everything. This is a great farming opportunity for bolts. But to be fair, I'm drowning in bolts already. I have 962. I can buy a charge shot upgrade. Okay, so this is the block train segment of the game. I was wondering when this gimmick was going to be used. So far so good. The introductory segment was a little bit more difficult than what I wanted, but I suppose it works. Plus it isn't glitching out as I thought it would. Yeah, so far the stage is pretty good. The upper pathway focused more on bottomless pit jumps, with all the guts lifts and the Yoko blocks and other stuff. This one's focusing more on block train gimmicks. I don't know why Pyro found this to be her least favorite. Well, to be fair, differing opinions. I'll probably find out soon enough. And the stage isn't really unfair. It has a generous heaping of all those checkpoint placements, as I discovered even off screen. I can't really fault this level for having bad checkpoint placement. It's definitely more on the generous side. And I do like the new enemy types. They're introduced pretty well and they're pretty fun. Like, for example, the Fat Mats, although I think they were part of the dev kit, as well as that upgraded Telly. Oh, and this is where it leads up to. I see. I'm still missing a tree of the Noble Nickels, though. Well, I guess I'm going to be trying this pathway again. This time, let me preemptively get my fast stopper ready, and get ready to slide into the wall a few times. Oh, and these aren't instant death force beams. I thought they would be, but no. So more props to the developer for that. Aha, this was the room. And now we fight a Mega Man X-styled Crash Man, actually, who has much better graphics. Oh hey, there's the other Noble Nickel. I wouldn't expect that to be here. I guess this is for the alternate pathway. Oh, I'm going to be using an E-Tank here. Might as well. Because this is a custom boss fight, well, I say custom in quotation marks, because Crash Man has different sprites, a lot bigger ones, I will fight him normally. Plus, the platforms make this fight a lot easier. Plus, he's as predictable as his original fight on the NES. Oh, I totally expected this to drop another energy element. But then again, the stage only had one energy element, so I guess it was fine. We only went through here in order to collect that second Noble Nickel. There are two left to go after all. But more props to the developer for making these force beams non-instant death. If anything, this is quickly becoming my favorite level I've played so far in this engine. Aha, I was right, there was something down here. I get the feeling a Noble Nickel's hiding somewhere in these dual satellite blocks. And there's a teleporter right over here, and I can faintly see the symbol of Dr. Wily laughing. I need to get to the other side of the room, though. And that lava drop still hit me. Oh hey, there was the Noble Nickel. I was right, it was going to be hidden somewhere in there. It was just too awfully suspicious to put an empty room over here. But I get the feeling there's more Noble Nickel stuff over there. And now we have lava droplets falling from nothing. Thanks, B, for going the wrong direction. Well, I guess we're going to the teleporter then. Oh, and it leads us into this teleporter room, filled with a lot of different Rod Masters. I don't recognize this NPC. Oh, it's BBLIR. The music was okay, I suppose, but it kind of fell in the background with the stage stuff. The boss fight music for Crash Man was fun, though, although the music feels like it's a bit lower with this volume. Well, thank you, old person. Although I presume that this plot development would be better if it was actually introduced in the first screen. Poor Metal, they can't really get up by themselves. I guess this is the Easter eggs room as well. Over 1. I get the feeling this is a reference to a certain Mega Man fan game I don't recall. Well, okay, Quint. Wow, that's a really souped up airman over there. His base fight isn't that hard either. Well, that's a very creative way of putting a zap mat. Well, that's another creative way of putting these text boxes. Can I talk to this person? Okay, Mr. Bleh. Is that a fairy companion? I guess it is. So, this is an Easter egg room dedicated to this Mega Man X style Crash Man. And this is where the pathways loop up with each other, I see. That's quite neat. But it's time to go back up there because I want to see the rest of the stage. As well as all the other teleporters, actually. Oh yeah, the gravity, I forgot that. But it's neat that we have this area to access, anyway. So let's go back to the exit, and then take a lower pathway and see where it leads us to. So far, I'm really liking this stage. I don't really see any major problems with the stage, I could say. Other than some problematic gimmick introductions, although they're relatively minor. The only other problem I could spot with the stage is that it's quite large and expansive, and it takes quite a while to explore. So let's go back over here, collect the key for the teleporter room, slide back over there, and try out some of the other teleporters. Oh hey, the room is still unlocked. Thank you for the Yashiki. Where does the blue pathway lead us to? Oh, I remember this room, I already took it. So the orange one took us to the left side, over here. I guess that's the sky one, the blue one takes us over there. But I already took it once before, so let me see where this pathway takes us to. Either go down or right. Oh, and this takes us right to the purple pathway, which I already saw. Fair enough, I got a lot of bolts now. I probably want to buy a costume upgrade as well as all the other upgrades too. Might as well change our aesthetics. Hey, maybe even try out the Crashman skin for the next part. Probably I'll try out my Proto Man skin first, or the one from the costume shop, and then the Crashman shop. It seems that you can unlock some skins or new costumes by completing certain parts of stages and finding Easter eggs, as well as collecting all the energy elements in Noble Nickels. Well, I guess this is the gravity switching segment of the stage, combined with the block train gimmick. I was hoping there would be something there. And of course, controls are reversed. Why wouldn't they be? Gotta be a little bit careful so I don't get crushed by accident. Oh, I guess we need to go to the left then. Neat. I could skip this entire segment, but I want to at least give Daughter the benefit of the doubt here and... oh. Never mind, I'm supposed to go down here. Where am I supposed to be going then? Down? Oh, I should have jumped on the block train. I didn't realize the screen would scroll down there. That was my fault. But hey, the developer had the foresight to actually predict that the player would actually fall down here. So, even more props to the developer. Forgotten Fortress has definitely become my favorite stage out of the bunch I've played in Magmal 2 so far. But of course, there will be some better stages coming up in the future. Judging by the live streams I participated in that were run by Flashman85, I already kind of know what my favorite stage of Magmal 2 is, but we'll get to that in the future. And me screwing up here is my fault. It's not the game's fault. I should be paying more attention to where the block train is going. In fact, all of the deaths so far of this stage are more due to the fact that I'm not paying attention to what's going on, rather than any bad maneuvers that the game pulls out of its... well, you know. So even more props to the developer for that, for feeling fair. I saw something on the left. Oh, auto-scrolling. Well, I totally didn't expect there to be an auto-scrolling segment in this stage. I guess this is the second instance of it in the game so far. And now we're introduced to the switch platforms, or switches, which turn on the foreground that we can jump on. I don't know how these physically work in Mega Man, but okay. How they make stuff physically materialize when you touch it. But hey, this is Mega Man. Don't question the fine intricacies of the physics. Well, this isn't as bad as the airship segment, or even the tank segment in the SMB tree, so that's definitely a plus. And now we're introduced to the Concrete Man platforms. I realize I made a mistake with the... Are these Concrete Man platforms? I need to double check what these are called. As the up and down platforms we saw in the first blue pathway, I think those are the actual Concrete Man platforms. Now we have the Plant Man platforms. I wish they were introduced in a safe environment, but the screen scrolling happens at a slow enough pace that it's relatively fine for me. Just make sure not to get crushed by screen transitions. Ooh, bouncy. No need for that M-Tank though. And I don't want to risk getting crushed by the wall, so I'll just keep going to the right. And keep on bouncing. Well, that's a unique mole-type enemy. I never saw that one before. Well, it's definitely getting gradually harder, so that's a plus. And Yoku Block's right over here, and we're taken right over here. And I see the last Noble Nickel. At least I think it's the last Noble Nickel. I'll have to double check. And it leads all the way back up to here. But I'm not done with the stage just yet. I want to see where the other teleporters take me to. The key door is still open, thank goodness. Where does the lab lead me to? Oh, right over here, I should have known. Well, I tried out all the 3 other teleporters, so let's take the purple pad teleporter and see where it leads us to. Well, I already took this pathway actually, so let's go back down here and have reversed gravity throughout the stage. I don't think this was intended by the author, but I will take as much advantage of it as possible. Okay then. I get the feeling I explored the majority of the stage already, and I'm now just breaking the stage because I have inverted gravity where I shouldn't have. And let me die over here by just clipping through the ground. Well, I think I got everything, and so I'll just exit out of the stage. Did I get everything? Yes, I did. And I believe I explored all 4 of the alternate pathways. But just to be sure, I'll go off screen and double check. Well, after double checking, I'm sure that I covered all the alternate pathways and collected all of the Noble Nickels. So let's see the judge comments and see why Pyro hated this stage. I love this stage. It's currently my favorite stage so far in this LP. Well, that's another flaw I've noted about the stage. One of the fact it's really massive, and the fact it's kind of unfocused. And gimmicks aren't really used in a... well, they are introduced fair enough, but then they're dropped. And it doesn't really feel that they were used to their fullest potential even at the end. It took an hour? I found this to be relatively straightforward thanks to the introduction of all those arrow signs. It wasn't unpleasant at all to navigate, and it wasn't boring at all. It was my most fun stage. The Crash Man over there felt like he was drawn in a more Mega Man X style. So sorry Pyro, I disagree with you on this one. But to be fair, we all have our different opinions on stages. Yeah, I agree more with Joopy. Even though the stage was unfocused, the gimmicks were utilized even though they were kind of more on the sparing side. They were used pretty well, actually. None of them were really frustrating at all. Even the force beam segment was made much less frustrating because there were clear outlines, like Jupi mentioned, and the fact they didn't drain your health completely. They weren't instant-kill, instead they drained your health over time, like the green force beams in Mega Maker. I had no level lag either, so I guess that made it less of an issue. Honestly, I didn't really find this to be a maze-like structure, especially with the arrows. I found it really straightforward. Yeah, I don't really agree with Angel on the confusing layout. And honestly, the Crashman fight totally felt like it would have a secondary energy element, but no. And to be fair, the difficulty of the stage wasn't really consistently increasing. It felt about the same, or rather it felt kind of going up and down around places. But to be fair, I would say the level design is solid. It just needs to focus more on a specific set of gimmicks. But I did like how each pathway had its own set of gimmicks or focuses. Like the top one focusing on the guts lifts, the bottom's pits, Yoku blocks, one of the purple ones focusing on the block trains, and then the auto-scroller, the one in the middle. And I did like the levels, graphics, and music, as well as the 2 or 3 new enemy types. I didn't feel like this stage was a slog. It felt it felt slightly long in places, but I found it to be fun, and having all the alternate pathways really made it more replayable and enjoyable in places, and it felt like it split off at the appropriate time. Sure, I would have liked it to split off a bit earlier, maybe around the first segment or section, but I didn't find it annoying to replay through the early segments, especially with shortcuts. And near the end of the stage, Ace was kind of right of how there was a bare minimum of gimmick usage. Oops, I didn't mean that. And yes, my final suggestion would be pick 4 gimmicks for the stage, and for each of the 4 different pathways, as I noticed based off the teleporters, focus on a different gimmick on each of those pathways, and then when they join up together, join up the gimmicks in a clever way or something. I will give credit where credit is due. BBLIR has the makings of a good designer. They just need to scale back and focus more on a particular set of gimmicks. But as I said, I still found this stage to be really fun, more fun than any of the stages I played before this one. So my rating of the stage would be somewhere around Jupi and Gariri's. I would probably rate it a 35 as well. In some ways I would say this stage was better than my own stage. As I've repeatedly stated in my Mega Maker LPs, if you're watching that, I really love when stages actually have alternate pathways with different gimmick focuses or gimmick reinterpretations, because it really adds to the replayability of the stage. So yeah, this is probably going to be my favorite stage for several parts to come, until we get to tier 8 or 9 or something. Well, I didn't really use the flash stopper, or what was it? Yeah, flash stopper, during the previous stage, during the block train segment, so I didn't see any glitches. I only used it during the force beam segment. So that's what you're called. I get the feeling this is a reference to something. Anyways, with that long stage out of the way, it's time to face the tier 3 boss. Oh, as an important note, the previous stage, unlike Yggdrasil, was fun to go through for me and didn't feel like a slog. It felt the appropriate length, maybe a little bit long, and had a nice set of gimmicks, but probably should have focused more on them. Still, as I said, it'll probably be unmatched in terms of being my favorite level until we get to tier 7 or 8, at the very least. But we'll see. Why hello there, doorman. That's definitely a better mugshot than from Mega Man Rocks. Well, sorry, doorman. I guess it's time to face you in combat. Well, we broke into several of Wily's labs, so guess not. And it seems fitting that Doorman has a more gentlemanly way of speaking. 3, 4... We have 4 health bars for Doorman. And we have the same boss team as Doorman did originally. Wow, his boss fight is a little bit more crazy with all the bullets going everywhere. Well, I'll try fighting him Buster only first, but yikes. All the attacks are getting quite crazy. I can sort of predict what he's going to do, though. I'm going to take a debt here because I'm really liking what the boss fight has to offer. I just need to get used to the patterns. I know I can do this boss fight Buster only, I just need to get used to what all the patterns are doing. Well, I guess it's time to fight the gentleman again. And to be fair, Mega Man rocks. It's on my lesser favorite of the Mega Man titles or Mega Man fan games. One of the reasons is of course because of the music, but this fight's a lot harder than the original fight, of course. That attack's really hard to dodge. At least when he goes up there all the time, I can ensure that he's gonna be firing over there. That's it, I'm going to consume an E-Tank. I have plenty of them to spare. And now he has the door stopper enabled. And just like in Mega Man Rocks, in order to actually disable the door stopper, you need to shoot him with a charge shot or this damage boost. Well, I guess if you take out one of his health bars, you'll be able to access the energy element and preemptively end the fight. Well, that's neat. I guess that makes the fight a lot less annoying, but this time I'm going to fight him with special weapons and drain all of his health bars. I'll probably test this off screen, but I'll wait a short period of time and see if Doorman dismantling opens the door himself. That'll be neat to see. Maybe it'll make him less pissed off, and we'll be able to skip the boss fight. I don't remember what his weakness was in Mega Man Rocks, so let's try out everything. Okay, this deals quite a bit of damage, 3 points of damage per hit. Okay, in this boss fight, you can stop Doorman from using the door stopper just by shooting him enough with the Mega Buster and destroying one of those shields. I'm not going to collect that energy element just yet. I want to see what happens if we kill off Doorman. Maybe we'll get a secret something. Well, I'm out of energy for the Hornet Chaser. So let me try out any other special weapon and see which one's better. Nope. 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 Sakugarne? No, that's really bad. Oh shoot, I should have done that earlier. Well, I guess it's time to consume my M-Tank. I've been stockpiling them for a while, so I might as well just use it now. You will need to use an M-Tank if you really want to just do this with a special weapon. But it's still a pretty fun boss fight. You can potentially do it Buster only if you get skilled enough and learn his patterns. And they all are pretty predictable, and they're dependent on which door he exits out from. And that's it for Doorman. I don't really see any extras by killing him this way. I just wanted to do it for show to see if there's any secrets, but apparently not. What was that secondary sound effect there? You can do it in 7 seconds alone? Amazing. Let me see how fast you can do it Buster only. I placed in 8th place. That's pretty good for my more incompetence, I suppose. Well, this ends Tier 3. We collected all of the energy elements, as well as the noble nickels. So in the next part, I'll be paying a visit to the costume shop, exploring the hub world one more time, buying some upgrades from Dr. Lice's shop, and then move on to Tier 4. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!